another video. So as we posted on our previous videos, we've installed the Sxth EK1 with the spare ECU tune. So to go along with that tune, you want to go ahead and make sure that you're running the correct spark plug. So the typical spark plug that a lot of people go with are the HKS M45XLs. And great spark plug, nothing wrong with them, but NGK had finally came out with something that's compatible to that spark plug, and this is a heat range 9 plug. So for anybody interested that's getting these, you can get them through Sxth Element. You can hit up Tanner or email Mark or anybody from there, and they can get you these. So for anybody that has never done spark plugs before, it's a fairly simple installation. You just want to be careful with undoing the coil packs. So first things first is, if you have an engine cover on here, there's 3 little rubber little adapters that hold this on. So you're gonna want to kind of pull up on one side, and then it'll all come off. And you can see this is a carbon fiber engine cover from Veloster, but same thing. It's gonna have these little rubber adapters. These are what these little nubs get pushed into, and so you're just popping that right off. So the next thing that I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys on what to do is to go ahead and to start unplugging each coil pack, the plug, so that way these are off and you're not gonna have to worry about you wouldn't actually even be able to, if you just undid this 10mm bolt and tried pulling this coil pack, it would you wouldn't have any room to get it out. So let me go ahead and set this down and we'll be right back. All right, so I like to make sure that the engine's warm, so that way when I remove the spark plugs, I don't have a hard time fighting like a tight sees with the metals together. So the warmth just helps everything kind of loosen for me. So I like to start left from right on the spark plugs. First thing that you're going to do is these little gray tabs. You're going to go ahead and put your fingernail in there and push this back. You can see that's locked, that's unlocked. After you have that, you're going to put a little bit of pressure on your thumb, and you're going to hear that click and pull straight out. Off. Easy. That's all it's going to take. One 10mm bolt right here. Pop it off. Easy to go. So I'm gonna see what size socket that I'm gonna need for that, based off of what these ones are, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right, so for anybody that has never gapped spark plugs before or anything like that, you can go to AutoZone. They have this little key ring thing that looks like that you guys have, that you can put on a key ring, and there's a bunch of little tolerance numbers on there, and pretty much what they want you to do is you slide your spark plug on there and gap it to where it says and then pull it off. Don't do that. You have a point right here that is pretty much what ignites commented this. So this is why your gap is so important right here. So the further gap you have out, you can cause misfires. When you get on the gas, the car just won't have power. So, and you'll get horrible gas mileage on top of that. So this is a tool that I like. You can get feeler gauges as well and use a feeler gauge to fill in there, but this is a tool that I like to get. So right here, so these come pre-gap supposedly at 0.028. I've heard that for these stage 1 tunes that a 0.025 is a sweet spot, so that's what I'm going to choose to go with. You guys do not have to go with that. I'm just showing you what I'm going with and how to gap these. So as you can see, these are supposed to be 0.028. This is a 0.030, and each one of these wires are the exact tolerance to measure out this. So unless you push it in with a pair of pliers or something, it's gonna stay that tolerance. So I'm not worried about it changing. As you can see, 0.030, if I put it in here, you don't want to put pressure to damage the tip, but pretty much you just want to see if this can pass through, and 0.030 won't, and 0.025 clearly will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this little nod to go down a little bit to close the gap to get me closer to 0.025. So by me doing that, is you can either do it with pliers or gently hit this down, but you want to be very careful. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with this tool because of how small it is, so I'm just going to give it a slight little push to see if that did anything. And it didn't, so I need to push something harder. So what I chose to do is I chose to go ahead and push down with this down, and how I'm going to measure this to make sure all my spark plugs are the same is when I put my 0.025 in here, it makes contact and it won't go past that point right there. So that's what I want to do on all of them. And just so for anybody that doesn't know it, NGK is a sister, I mean, yeah, pretty much a sister brand to HKS. So HKS sells a more premium plug than NGK, but some of the HKS plugs are stamped with NGK on there. So it's all going to be personal preference of what people want to run, but these are a good spark plug. I was running NGK step coolers on my Jenny, and I never had issues. They were cheaper. These are a little bit more money than the M45XLs, but can't go wrong. All right, so 5/8 deep socket. If you have one long extension, you have it. This is all I have right now, so this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and drop this bad boy in here. You're going to feel right where it is, and I'm going to go ahead and counterclockwise. So most critical part is when you're putting the new ones back in, is you feed them by hand. Don't use a ratchet right away to put it down, because you don't want to cross that, because if you do, that is going to be really a pain in the ass. So another tip is to go to AutoZone or your local like car supplier place and go ahead and get some what is it called, it's like some type of grease that you put in right here for the coil pack, so it just has a good connection and doesn't get any like water or anything like that. And then you can go ahead and get some anti-seize for the spark plugs as well. So now that the spark plug is completely loose, magnet is a good thing to have. Just drop it straight in there. It'll pull it right off. So plugs are looking really good. Healthy plug, brown. Wait, no deposits on the electrode. It's a good plug. So everything is running healthy. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a little bit of anti-seize on here. And as it turns, it's gonna go ahead and apply it everywhere. So for anybody that doesn't think that you have to apply it everywhere, literally as you start turning it, it applies it to every thread. So I will literally thread this by hand the whole way like this until it is tight. And then after that, literally I'm just gonna go tight, like hand tight, and then a couple of turns after, and that's it. Nothing crazy on spark plugs. Literally you're just making contact, making sure that it's not going to come undone, and there's no other reason for that thing to walk off. So that's all we're going to do. I'm going to get the boot back, make sure everything looks good in there, put the boot back on, and I'm going to go ahead and fit this on once again, hand tight. Don't want to cross thread anything. And I'm going to tighten everything back up and connect it as I go, so that way I don't have to worry about coming back and double checking anything. So once again, hand tight, make sure it's on there snug, reconnect this, you hear the click, lock it back in, one is done. So I'm going to make my way through the next 3, and I'll update you guys when I'm finished. All right, so all of them came out really smooth. The only one thing I would let you guys know is when you guys come to the one closest to the fill pump is this foam right here. You're just gonna have to kind of push it a little bit in, and then it'll pop right in. Same thing when you pop this out, just kind of pop it up out of its way. Other than that, super smooth install, had no issues with anything. We're putting in the last one right now, putting back in the last one right now, and we'll go ahead and start the car, let it idle for a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and take it for a test drive to make sure that the gap that we put it at, you know, that we have no issues. And then if we do have any issues, we can always pull them back out and gap them a little bit further out, but I don't think we're gonna have any issues with the 0.025 gap. So just nothing crazy, just want to make sure it's tight, not gonna come back off. Put that in, lock them back in, everything's locked. We're good to go. Gonna get everything out of the way real quick, and then Emily can go ahead and she's gonna start the car, and then I'll hold the phone while she does that, and we'll see how she cranks over. We haven't driven the car in a while. We just came back from Vegas, so the car's been sitting. So we'll let it warm up and we'll take it out and see how she does. That's our engine cover right there. So pretty much I'm just gonna make sure that that one doesn't have a problem. So there's two right there, and then there's that. So we look forward to making more content for you guys, and for anybody that hasn't subscribed yet, please go ahead and give us a like, drop down a comment to let us know what kind of content you'd like to see, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys.